Aisha Aslam
And I, Anju Cherian,
at WSS welcome you all to the Sixth Form Options Event 2025. The purpose of this event is to make you aware of the subjects which are offered by WSS at Sixth Form. It will allow you to have clear knowledge for choosing the subjects and step into Key Stage 5 by the end of this academic year. The transition from Key Stage 4 to Key Stage 5 is an important, challenging, yet exciting time as you will choose the subjects in which you will be looking for your future ambitions.
before we go into the further details, I request all of you to kindly rise up for the national anthem. Thank you. Please take your seats.
Now, let us listen to the beautiful Quran recitation in the voice of Muhammad Haroon from 11BH1.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ياسين والقرآن الحكيم إنك لمن المرسلين على صراط مستقيم تنزيل العزيز الرحيم صدق الله العظيم.
Jazakallah khairan, Muhammad Haroon.
Now, I would request our school principal and CEO, Ms. Valerie Thompson, to commence the program with a welcome speech.
Good afternoon, everyone, mums and dads, students. Not so much a speech, just a little very warm welcome. Thank you for giving up your time to come today. It is very, very important meeting. Your child is at a critical stage with a lot of decisions to make, and I'm sure you will want to be as aware of the options as your child. So the start point for you is what the next stage is. What is the university stage? And you work back from that. Or you can go even further in the future and look at what kind of career your child wants and work back from that. And your IGs, AS, A-levels, these board exams all fit into that journey. And there's no good going, if you want to go to London, you take a plane to somewhere else, America. If you want to go to London, you have to take all the steps to go to London. So this is part of that journey. So again, thank you for coming. All right, take your decisions very thoughtfully, very mindfully. What are the university requirements? What are the career requirements? And work your way back. So good luck. Tricky questions. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Valerie. As Malcolm rightly said, education is our passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to the people who prepare for it today.
What is sixth form? Sixth form advanced level studies is the last 2 years, year 12 and 13 of secondary education, that is key stage 5. The students will move to sixth form after they complete their GCSE, having successfully passed the GCSE exam with the grades between A star to B. Learners take the Cambridge and Edexcel International AS level in year 12 and complete the International A level in year 13. We offer the subjects from 2 boards, which are Edexcel and Cambridge. All subjects are offered from Cambridge except English, Mathematics and Psychology. 2-year International A-level program. Students can take 2 or 3 or 4 subjects over 2 years, AS in year 12 and A-level in year 13.
While living in UAE, we always have to be aligned with the requirements by Ministry of Education. All students have a choice in subjects that they study in KS5. I would request the Secondary Assistant Principal, Mr. Alfred Franklin, to spot the light on the MOE requirements, option forms in details, and promotion criteria.
Very good afternoon to everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Like Ms. Valerie started it, I would like to start from the same point. Usually, we request all the parents to get the information from here, then go back home and work backwards, because the end is the thing where you are working towards. So the AS and A-level program should give you the destination. So now first I'm going to talk about the Ministry of Education requirements. In the UAE, when you finish your school education, you will require a certificate which we call it as compliancy. So there is a specification that is mentioned by the Ministry of Education, and I'm going to read the important points. Quite often people have a little bit of a difference in idea. It is the Ministry of Education compliancy requirement. University requirements are different. So let me tell it very clearly at the start. The university that your child is going to learn, their requirements will be different. But once these requirements are completed, you will get a certificate called equivalency from the Ministry of Education in the UAE. The first one, which your children are now in, IGCSE, 5 subjects of IGCSE, excluding Islamic Studies and Arabic, and a required grade of A's between 3 to 9. If they are getting in 5 subjects, excluding Islamic Studies and Arabic language, then the first part is done. Then once they move into their 6th form studies, there is AS and A level. When it comes to AS or advanced subsidiary level, they are looking at 2 subjects of AS level or 1 subject of A level, again with a passing grade of A star to E. Once again, Islamic Studies and Arabic language is excluded from these 2 and 1. So when you finish purely IGCSE 5 subjects and 2 AS and 1 A level subject, then you would be eligible to get the required certificate, which is asked in almost all the universities inside UAE if your children are planning to join. So they ask that, it's called equivalency certificate. So they ask for that certificate. For that you need to upload these documents in the ministry portal to get the certificate. So for Islamic studies, it is mandatory till they finish schooling for all Muslim students. For Arabic is mandatory if the children are planning to take higher studies in the UAE, but there are certain universities that may give leeway for that. Again, that is university requirement. But for the ministry, these are all the requirements they tell. The next one is very important. That's what I was talking about. Once your students finish or your child finishes their A-level studies with us with the required grades and numbers, then we will give a certificate called equivalency certificate, which is applied through the school. And if suppose the point number 3 is very important, sometimes we strongly recommend the students when they join with us for the 6th form to complete the 2 years, that is in year 12 AS level and year 13 A level. Sometimes students tend to leave after AS level. In case if you are leaving after AS level, your certificate which is given from school will reflect that you have finished only AS level course. It will not reflect anything else. It will tell attendance and what course the child has completed. Will say AS level has been completed in the school. So some universities may accept it, but almost all universities all over the world want A-level studies. So we strongly recommend they finish all the 2 years of the course. Apart from that, there are other letters that usually asked from the university. Most of the time we were asked to give a reference, a recommendation, and sometimes they send us specific format from the university when the children apply for scholarship, that we needed to give them strong recommendation so that the university will choose them. So in those cases, we look at certain other criteria apart from academic excellence. We always look at how was their attendance, their punctuality, their conduct, and their behavior in school. All these things will be taken into consideration if we are giving a recommendation or if the university is asking us to give recommendation for scholarship. So these are all the things that are coming at the end of your A-level studies. Now, this is a very important part. Till year 11, we have a process in almost all schools in the UAE, which is called re-enrollment process. The children get automatically enrolled into the next year group. They usually go from year 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, like that it goes on. There is a small fees that every school charges, which is called re-enrollment fee. But to start 6th form, it is not the process, because 6th form admission is based on IGCSE examination outcomes and the grades that we require to give that seats. It is merit based. So we have a system called seat booking fees, which will be informed to you through another letter too. You can book for the seat and we will keep the seat, wait for IGCSE results. Once we see the IGCSE results, we will send an offer letter from school saying you can come and join us. At that time, if your child is willing to join us, that seat booking fee will be added to the term 1 fees. In case your child is not eligible to join us based on merit or the grades gotten from IGCSE, we will refund the full money to the parents. Your child is eligible to join with us. We offer the seat. Your child says, no, I don't want to go to that school. In that case, we will not be refunding the money. So this is very, very simple. So it is not automatic promotion to year 12. Based on year 11 outcomes in the IGCSE examination, we will give an offer letter. So that is very important. If you think, how should we pay this one? Very soon we will inform you. The seat booking fee will be added to the 3rd term fee so that it will be hanging out 1,000 separate. Once the exam outcomes come, we will decide whether you will get the seats or not. One more very important thing here I would like to mention. 6th form programs or smaller, and the class numbers or the sections are smaller. It's not like we have many classes because it's more specific studies. So we have very, very limited seats, so it is based purely on merit. So there are students who got total A stars. They get no doubt they will get the seats. Students between A star to B, for sure, it is possible. But there are other students who may be struggling, so then there will be a lot of discussion going on after that. The next one is, the first sentence of this is the ministry requirement again. But the second one is very, very important. To join our sixth form program, the minimum required grade is anything between A star to B. This is not from our school. This is the recommendation in Cambridge website. They say, due to the course content and the depth of the course, they say the students who are having A star to B scores in IGCSE do in AS and A level well. If suppose the student is anywhere below B, they struggle a lot. Most of the time, in our experience, we haven't seen great outcomes. And the next one, a specific case mentioned here, we do offer English language in AS and A level. For English language, when they go into English language, in IGCSE, you might have already heard, we have two strands. One is English first language. The second one is English as second language. So FLE is first language English, then second one is English as a second language. For first language students, their criteria to get that English course is A star to B. But for second language candidates, it is A star to A, because the competency to learn AS A level English is pitched high, where they learn poetry, literature, so that is a little bit higher level of skills that is needed. So second language students have to be in A star to A. If you are, God forbid, if your children are getting any grade lower C or lower than C, then we will usually strongly recommend that you don't pursue that particular subject to study in AS and A level, but there will be always some discussions we happen to have with parents, but at the first go, based on merit, we don't offer seat. We offer seat based only on merit. So far, if there is anything that you would like to ask, I will not be able to answer many questions, but I can just answer one or two before I go into the subjects offered. Yes, ma'am.
Now, if a child is taking 4, the child is not going to take 4 because he's not able to do A star 2. So then what happens? Because this is C2.
So core subject will not get chance to study that particular subject when they come to ASA level. It is only extended syllabus it's possible. Yeah. Good question. Thank you so much for asking. Now, these are the subjects that we offer at WSS for our ASA level studies. There are totally 5 blocks here, and each blocks we have given a list of subjects. The school runs in such a way that you need to take at least 4 subjects if you want. We offer maximum 4. We don't offer more than that, because in reality ASA level studies are very deep and very, very heavy. So we offer maximum of 4, but there are students who may opt to have 3, 2, it depends on what they are going to fill in your form. But from each block, you will be able to choose only one subject. You will not be able to choose 2 subjects from the same block. So the system is made in such a way that it will not disturb any line of learning. In our experience, we have always had chats with students, our subject leaders, teachers, so this is well thought out plan, and it has worked so far well. So one subject from each block, a maximum of 4 subjects can be selected. In mathematics, there is a special case because we are using Pearson Edexcel mathematics. Mathematics always goes along with 2 options. One is mechanics, other one is statistics. So Edexcel gives a mathematics course certificate completion. Not just learning only pure maths, there should be one more subject that has to go along with that. That is the program from Edexcel. So those mechanics or statistics, whichever subject you want to choose, you can choose. So this is the thing. Now, this is a very, very important point. I just want you to listen to this very carefully. AS and A-level program is purely based on merit. So there are a lot of students who may like to learn, but sometimes it doesn't work in that way. So we have a minimum cutoff number of 20 students needed for running one particular subject in a class. If we don't get 20 students applying for that particular subject, let me say, for example, English language. English department, please don't get angry. Yeah, just giving an example. English language. If 20 students are not choosing English language, means 20 boys and 20 girls, they are not choosing, then school is left with only 2 options. Option 1, we will withdraw the subject and we will ask those students and parents who have opted for that subject to choose another subject from those 5 blocks. In that particular block, if they have, can you go back to that? Yeah, English, computer science, IT. So if suppose students take English, but we don't get 20 boys to run the boys class and 20 girls to run the girls class, we always contact the students and the parents and say, you are left with 2 other subjects. Would you like to take it? Or would you like to take in another subject in another block where you have not selected any? So we normally have a discussion starting up. So this is option 1. Don't quote me on this. That is the easiest option for us as a school because we don't have students. Okay, sorry, we'll give you an option. But we have another option. This option is a little bit difficult for to understand. Just hear me out. If the subject numbers are less than 20, to run that particular subject, instead of telling that no, you can't study that subject, we will not give you that subject, we are planning to have co-education classes which will be informed to the parents and the students well in advance, because once you give your form, we will know which are all the subjects are lacking. And then we will also give the second 2 options. Would you like to go in co-education, or would you like to drop the subject? Would you like to choose another one? The option will be given to the parents as well as the students. Once you select, we will go according to your choice for your child. Just to get a clear idea of what exactly the option 2 is, which you might not have seen until year 11. But when they come to year 12 and 13, quite often you might have heard from, if your child is in the school or in some other school, children involved in a lot of activities, like they go for competitions, MUN, they get involved in social activities, they get involved in so many other activities that happen outside the school, as well as that are clubs that they run forward. So naturally, there is a very clear understanding of the year 12 and 13 boys and girls work together, not mixed, work together under the supervision of the teachers when we look at segregation very carefully. So that is always there. So when I go to the next point, you can understand There are certain benefits of this which you can think about it. Number one, no need of subject change required. If we are having, if suppose you are thinking coeducation is fine for the certificate, no hassle of dropping subject and doing it privately, because again, let's go to English. Maybe your child wants to go to study in another country where they ask English first language as one of the requirement, or English language as a requirement. So in the case we are not offering, we'll say, okay, you want to do English, fine, do it a private study. We will give you no objection certificate to write the exams in British Council. So that is, that hassle will not be there. Your child can follow what he wants to follow or she wants to follow. And the teacher efficiency increases, because it's always good to have at least 20 students in a class to teach well, instead of having 2-3 students asking that they'll sit in a group. It's not, the efficiency is not used to the potential. So the mechanism, how it will be run, maybe you will have a doubt because you have not heard it before in year 11 or year 10. They will be having a classroom which is specially custom made, which will have a partition in the middle. It will be a closed partition, not a see-through one. And the boys and girls will have no interaction or no collaboration in the class. Only the teacher will be able to see both sides, like we are sitting now, but there will be a partition. And when the room is allotted for that class, that classroom is next to the school leader's office. So there is always a constant monitoring by the leaders. The last one is, for the girls, the teachers will escort the girls from their classroom, and they will make them learn, and they will take them back to the class. So in that way, coeducation is run, but within the rules of segregation. So we are not going to let them collaborate, cooperate, talk, share ideas. No, clear partition. They will learn from one teacher, but the number would be having good enough, at least 20 to run that class. So we will not have to drop any subject. So this is the, just for you to think about it. But again, as I said, in case after you all submit your forms, if we need to withdraw any subject, we will not go into any decision of coeducation till we speak to individual students and parents saying that the subject your child chose has got no numbers. Would you like to change the subject, or would you like to go into coeducation? Only with your consent we will go forward, or else we will not. We'll listen to the mass and we'll say, okay, fine, no issues, we will drop it. As I said earlier, don't quote me again, it's easy for us to close the subject than to run this one. Now, these are all certain deadlines for you to remember. There is a sixth form options form that will be sent to you over email after this meeting. The options form will have the same block of subjects which I have showed earlier, with some more information like in filling the name and all those things. And 13th March would be the deadline to submit it back to us. Final admission confirmation will be done after a week from the time the result of IGCSE has come. Usually it is somewhere in August 10th or 11th we get the results from the board. Then afterwards we will look through the grades, and then we will start allotting the seats based on merit. So if your child has completed minimum of 5 subjects excluding Arabic and Islamic, they are eligible for this consideration. And if the child has got excellent commitment to school, involved in the wider life of the school, in leadership teams, in doing service to the school community, these are all added advantages when we look at it. We say apart from merit, fine, this student has done a lot in the school. So then afterwards we also look at the attendance. This is based on the ministry requirement. ministry tells that anywhere above 95% of attendance is good for a student. The correct number for them is 98% attendance should be there for the students. Then only they will be having full knowledge of the learning that has happened in school. But we look at attendance, and then when we put the admission, we look at that also as one of the criteria. We look at that. We are not very strong holding at 98. We look at the differences. Yeah. So with that, I'm going to leave it for a career talk with one of our guests who has come from external. You may have questions in your mind. Please hold on to it. At the end of the session, I will open the floor for question and answers. Then if anyone who wants to speak after the meeting to me or any of the leaders here specifically, you are most welcome to reach us. We will be here. So now may I request.
Thank you, Mr. Franklin, for this detailed and integrated information. I would like to request our honored guest, Mr. Shamil Buhari, who is a destination manager at UK, to spread the information about the career choices.
Hi, thank you so much. Just a moment. My name is Shamil Buhari. I'm a destination manager for UK and Ireland. I've been working with IDP for almost 9 years, and in the industry for almost 14, 15 years. So today, I'm going to give you some information and present about the requirements in terms of studying abroad, as well as in general, what university requires, and with the subjects, what are the career path or the professions you can move in. And it's a vital time, and particularly GCSEs, because you must be having a good understanding of your strength and weakness while you're studying about 5 to 6 subjects or probably 8 subjects. And the A levels, you would be taking a minimum of 2 to 3 subjects, 3 subjects. So just to give a little bit of brief idea about IDP, who we are. So IDP is an Australian organization we established by the Australian government way back in late 60s. Since then, we are supporting international students, helping them with the placing to the universities, that is into the top universities from US to UK, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, even Dubai, and Ireland and New Zealand as well. Also Canada. So we come with a lot of experience. We are in the industry for almost 50 years, and we have placed more than 600, 700,000 students. In recent past, our record says that every 10 minutes we are placing a student. So we would be sharing all this information, particularly the subject requirement based on experience as well. Little bit more about IDP. So we have more than 150 offices across the globe, particularly in the Asia and Middle East, as well as we're expanding to Africa as well as Europe. And our service, what we do, we'll talk about in the next slide as well. And in terms of a little bit of our IDP more as well, and we are the co-owners of IELTS. You may have heard of it, IELTS. It's an English test that is required for studying abroad or probably for a migration purpose, and that is introduced by the IDP to the world along with British Council and Cambridge. More than that, we work with over 800 universities and colleges and so on, and all the service that we offer to you in the future will be free of charge. Yeah, so this is just to give you an idea in terms of if anyone is planning to apply to any of the universities, the requirements in terms of your A-level wise, normally we would recommend you to take 3 subjects in your A-levels. In terms of requirement, it can vary from universities to university. It can be starting from 3 A stars, it can go up to 3 Bs or probably 3 Cs as well, depending on the country. And if you're looking at medicine, probably you may need additional aptitude test. For that, we will have a separate session. So today, the purpose is to give you a little bit of an importance of subject selection. Probably the next slide, please. These are some of the documents we require. Again, they're probably not required at this stage. We can move into next slide. Yeah, so how we can help you as well. Now here, you have time till probably March, first, second week to understand, to offer you the confirmation what subjects you probably need to take in the A-levels. You have time to decide, and how IDP can help you, or how you can do your own research as well. Now IDP has own account, we have counselors, they are certified, they can help you based on your career path, or probably based on your degree that you would like to study, or a profession that you want to move in. Accordingly, we can give you an understanding what subject requirements, what are the options available, what are the opportunities available in terms of studies or career. So that you have an option of coming and meeting IDP. And other thing is that you have plenty of opportunities online as well. You can use virtual platforms to understand. There are online platforms available through UK, USA and Canada, where they will also give you understanding the career opportunities, virtual opportunities as well. You can also get in touch with the school counselor in detail to understand in this process. But one thing I'd like to mention that all the universities would take this subject requirement seriously. Maybe that can be in the UAE or maybe India, probably wherever you go. For an example, let's say that if you want to become a doctor, you have to have compulsory 2 science subjects, which is chemistry and biology. If you don't choose that, you probably may not be able to apply for medical school. Similarly, let's say that you want to become let's say you want to study Bachelor of Commerce in Rotman School of Commerce in Canada, probably. They compulsory required mathematics in A-levels. You must be thinking, why we require mathematics to study commerce subjects? That's a requirement, right? Because in their curriculum, they may have mathematics as part of their program. Similarly, let's say that computer science or information technology, most of the universities all over the world require mathematics in your A-levels. Sometimes at least computer science in A-levels as well. So likewise, it is important you speak to the counselors or probably school counselors, so understand the required subjects and select accurately. Next slide, please. So there is something called as facilitating subjects. So with these facilitating subjects, that can help you to move into many professions and also get into many other different qualifications. That can be through engineering or maybe for sciences or any. So with these facilitating subjects, you have plenty of opportunities or plenty of options for you to move in. Those subjects are, for example, math, English literature, physics, biology, chemistry, geography, history, and language. Now, these era, we can also add computer science as well if the school is offering. That can really help you. Next slide, please. Now here, I've tried to give you an idea like what are the subjects that can help you to move into career or probably also a degree that you can study. For an example, if you want to become an architect, you can study Bachelor of Architecture, but you have to have physics and math in your A-levels. That's 2 subjects, but compulsory, you need to have 3rd subjects as well, meaning that 3rd subject can be any. It can be a psychology, or it can be maybe economics, or maybe business, but compulsory subjects for architects would be physics and math. Similarly, you can see art and design, or probably, for example, if you want to become a chartered accountant, you have options of math and accounting, for example, recommended subjects. So likewise, these are the subjects. So you can, of course, speak to the school counselor. They'll be able to share the details, and we'll also send this detail to your school counselor as well for you to get a reference later on. Next slide, please. Yeah, so that's from me, and these are contact details. If you need to speak to a counselor or if you want to understand in detail, we are there to support you. IDP service are free of charge. We are located in Dubai, Al Barsha. It's in the Red Line metro connection. So let us know, and I'm here also. If you have any question, I'm happy to answer your question. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Shamil, for the information. I would like to request our Assistant Principal, Mr. Alfred Franklin, to honor our chief guest, Mr. Shamil Bukhari, with a token of appreciation. Thank you so much for accepting this token of appreciation. Thank you for your time. Now let's invite our 6th form students, Manal Roman, Islamic Deputy Head Girl, and Aisha Tazim, Islamic Welfare Leader, to talk about the subjects in detail. They will be focusing on the content of the subjects and the assessment overview for each subject.
Good afternoon. I am Manal and I am here with
Aisha.
We both will take you through an overview of the subjects offered at WSS 6th Form.
To begin with, the first subject offer is by Edexcel Mathematics, course code XMA01. This subject consists of 3 externally examined units in the advanced subsidiary levels. Pure 1 and Pure 2 are compulsory papers where students can choose an additionally required option between Statistics 1 or Mechanics 1 paper. Whereas in the advanced level, course code YMA01, students will be assessed upon 6 externally examined units, Pure 1, 2, 3, and 4, and can choose an additionally required option between Statistics 2 or Mechanics 2 paper.
The next subject provided by Edexcel is English Language. The course code for AS level is XEN01. This subject consists of 2 externally examined units in the AS levels, both of which have a total time duration of 1 hour and 45 minutes, 100 total marks, and 25% weightage. Whereas students undertaking the advanced level course code YEN01 are required to take 2 externally examined units, both of which have a total time duration of 2 hours, 100 total marks, and 25% weightage.
We are now going to proceed with the courses provided by the Cambridge Board. The first 3 courses are the science subjects. All AS level candidates are expected to attend 3 papers in a single examination series. Candidates who, having received AS level certification, wish to continue their studies to the full advanced level of qualification may carry their AS marks forward and take papers 4 and 5 in the examination series in which they require certification. Biology, course code 9700, consists of 3 papers in AS level, where paper 1 is MCQ and has a total time duration of 1 hour and 15 minutes, 40 total marks, and 31% weightage. Paper 2 is a theory paper which has a total time duration of 1 hour and 15 minutes, 60 total marks, and 46% weightage. Paper 3 is a practical paper which has a total time duration of 2 hours and 40 total marks and 23% weightage.
Similarly, chemistry and physics have equal total time duration, marks, and weightage as biology. However, the course code for chemistry is 9701 and the course code for physics is 9702. Now, moving on to the commerce subjects. Accounting, course code 9706. It requires students to undertake 2 papers in their AS levels. Paper 1 is an MCQ paper with a total time duration of 1 hour and has 30 total marks, whereas paper 2 is a structured theory paper that has a total time duration of 1 hour and 45 minutes with 90 total marks. In the advanced level, students are expected to undertake 2 more papers. Paper 3 is of 75 marks with a total time duration of 1.5 hours, whereas paper 4 is of 50 marks with a total time duration of 1 hour.
The next subject is business, course code 9606. It requires students to take 2 papers in their AS levels. The first paper is of 40 marks with a total time duration of 1 hour and 15 minutes, whereas the second paper is of 60 marks with a total time duration of 1 hour and 30 minutes. In the advanced level, students are expected to undertake 2 more papers. Paper 3 is of 60 marks with a total time duration of 1 hour and 45 minutes, whereas paper 4 is of 40 marks with a total time duration of 1 hour and 15 minutes.
The next subject is economics, subject code 9708. It requires students to take 2 papers in their AS levels. Paper 1 is an MCQ paper with a total time duration of 1 hour and has 30 total marks, whereas paper 2 is a structured theory paper that has a total time duration of 2 hours with 60 total marks. In the advanced level, students are expected to take 2 more papers. Paper 3 is of 60 marks. Paper 3 is of 30 marks with a total time duration of 1 hour and 15 minutes, whereas paper 4 is of 60 marks with a total time duration of 2 hours.
Our next subject is psychology, subject code 9990. In AS level, the candidates are required to take two papers, paper 1 and paper 2, each of duration 1 hour and 30 minutes, total 60 marks each. In the advanced level, they are required to take papers 3 and 4, each of duration 1 hour and 30 minutes, total 60 marks each.
The next subject is computer science, course code 9618, where students are required to undertake two papers in their AS levels. With the paper 1 is of 75 marks with a total time duration of 1.5 hours and 50% weightage, and paper 2 is of 75 marks with a total time duration of 2 hours and 50% weightage. Whereas students in the advanced levels are required to take two additional papers. Paper 3 consists of 75 marks with a total time duration of 1.5 hours and 25% weightage, and paper 4 is of 75 marks with a time duration of 2 hours and 25% weightage.
Lastly, we have Information Technology, course code 9626, where students are required to take two papers in their AS levels. Paper 1 is of 70 marks with a time duration of 1 hour and 45 minutes, and paper 2 is of 90 marks with a total time duration of 2 hours and 30 minutes. Each paper carries a 50% weightage in AS levels. In the advanced levels, we have two papers, papers 3 and 4. Paper 3 is of 70 marks with a total time duration of 1 hour and 45 minutes. Paper 4 is 90 marks and has a total time duration of 2 hours and 30 minutes. All four papers carry the weightage of 25% in A levels.
Thank you. And now I'd like to hand the mic over to Ms. Aisha.
Thank you, Aisha and Manal, for the intricate information.
Please note that all more information on the subjects offered at WSS, you are requested to visit the CIE and the edXL website to access the information if required. We will be sending today's presentation for further clarification. The floor is now available to visit the head of subjects seated here with their doubts. We also have Mr. Franklin, Assistant Principal, to answer your queries. Ms. Sarupa, KS5 FACE Leader, and Ms. Sherin, FACE Leader of KS4, will be answering your doubts of parents who are online.
So before you move on to meet the subject leaders here, I think the session has been a little bit informative to you. If there is any question, just hold on for 2 minutes. So if any question you ask, it might be helpful to anyone who is thinking about it. So if you can raise your hand, I can. Yes, ma'am? All right, there's a question here, ma'am asked. I think this is for everyone. The study destination the parent is thinking is India. So India has got its own, screening tests. So currently, what we are doing is, we always request you to check with the university. Will they accept for, suppose it's medical studies, what are all the course you want? Because sometimes parents meet me from different countries. In one particular country, I heard that physics is a compulsory subject if they want to join the medical university. So you please check with the university. Apart from that, that screening test, which is going to be, you have to check with the institute that gives training for that, because then they can tell you based on questions. But this is purely based on Cambridge style and edXL style questions. So it may not sometimes sync. Yes. And yes, ma'am? Here a parent is asking a very important question, because we told about 20 students minimum requirement for having a subject run, or else we have two options of either dropping it or going into co-education. So the parent is asking, do you have any idea which subjects usually gets this kind of low number? But very honestly speaking, year on year what we see is the students are exposed to many new subjects, opportunities or studies or degrees from different countries. So every year it is very dynamic. We can't say that particular subject will have a less, because sometimes it goes very high. It is always safer for us to say mathematics is always full. It's very hard to break through mathematics. So mathematics, no chance to get a co-education, because mathematics every child wants to learn, either it is being medical studies or engineering studies. Yeah. So currently, yeah, after we get the forms from the students, like I said in the presentation, information will come to you. Only with your support we will move forward with that. At that time, if you want to change, we will give you option to change. Yes, ma'am.
I don't want to be negative, but if a child, you said based on merit.
Merit, yes.
So if you don't give admission to a child based on merit, what happens to the child?
Good question. If by merit, if you are not getting a chance to get this one, that is when we open dialogue with the parents, because C grade, yeah, we have a discussion. If it is an F grade or if it's a U grade, there is no, so naturally as parents as well as you know, as educators, we normally don't even communicate, say that, okay, how, from parents' side, my child got an F, so what am I going to ask the school for? So the same way when the parents are asking, can you get a chance, my child has got an F, we are like, C and D if it comes, hopefully every child we wish success A star to be, and we have got very good outcomes all across the years. Our Key Stage 4 program is very strong and successful. It has been judged always as very good by the inspectors whenever they come in. Their outcome is, attainment is very high. So if it is C and D, we always start the discussion with the parent. So you don't have to worry. Or you start the discussion, we will be receptive to that. We will have the discussion. Yes, please, sir. Yeah. Yes.
I hope, as you said, all the kids will be getting into the day level.
Yeah.
But in case if they want to change the subject after the deadline, in case like after the results comes up, maybe they might be changing a mind that they wanted to change the subject due to some reason of that.
Yeah.
Is it possible to do that?
Yes. It's a very important question. If suppose you fill your options form today or by the deadline you are giving, after that you give your IGCSE exam, the results come out. In the meanwhile, you think that, okay, I want to change the subject. You are most welcome to do that. We always send another email when you tell us, I want to change. We will once again send options form once again to you, so you can choose your new subject and you can send it back to us. But there is an expiration time for that. We will allow it for now 15 days from the start of the course. So if your child is joining the course on September, maybe say September 15th or 14th, 15 days time we give to change. Afterwards we don't, because by the time the course will start running very fast, so we will not have time to change. I'm just going to request our Vice Principal, Mr. Shujahat, to say a few words, and he has been a big support to us, because our sixth form is developing very fast, and I can see that many of you have many questions, and he has been giving us a lot of advice in that, so he will say a few words and say thanks for your time.
Assalamu alaikum. Afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much. I just wanted to follow on from what Mr. Franklin has said. So he's mentioned a lot of the academic stuff, but for the students, you'll see around our school, there's a lot of student development stuff that we do. So just this week alone, every single day, students were participating in something. Just today, we had the TEDx talk. We have the MUN, we have a Wellbeing and Learning Conference. There's different leadership possibilities for the students to take part in. All these things actually help them when they're applying for university. So it's important to remember academics, 100% they're important, but the additional stuff the students do in terms of building their competencies and their behaviors is extremely important as well. And just to reiterate a couple of things. So when Mr. Franklin, I think he mentioned about co-ed, this is about having curriculum options. So previous years, our curriculum options have been very narrow because we cannot have 2 students in the girls section in an A-level English class and then 2 boys on the other side. So we cannot run those classes. So the whole point is, we will send out a questionnaire to you guys, okay, making sure that you're happy. But what happens is, it's like this room. So our classroom, the boys are on one side, the girls are on another. So that's what we refer to as co-ed. There is no like mixing, etc. It's just so that that class could go ahead. And it only applies to some subjects. Things like chemistry, physics, biology, there's plenty of boys and girls in each of the columns. We don't need to do co-ed in them, but definitely in some of the other ones, we want to offer these subjects to our students. So we're looking at the different options so that we have a broad curriculum on offer. So it's something that we'll be in touch with you about. Other than that, sixth form is so much fun, right? And you might think it's some of the most important years. It definitely is. But if you ask your children what do they see our sixth form students doing, they're taking part in so many competitions. They're supporting us around the school. They're helping the younger students. And for me, that is so much more. And they learn so much more before they go to university. Just finally, I'll give you a quick example. Next weekend, some of our sixth form students, they're doing workshops with other students on well-being, learning, finance, and the leadership gemstones. So imagine a sixth form student doing a 40-minute session with students from other gem schools coming in, and they've got a group of 25 students, and they're doing a workshop with them. Imagine when that child goes to university application, what they can say they've done. And that is phenomenal, and that's what we're trying to build. It's not just all about the academics. We do focus on that 100%, but you're wondering, what do you do with that extra time? Are they just sitting in the aisle room? Are they just sitting there and trying to study? No. There's a host of different options that the students work on, and we give them various projects throughout the year that will keep them busy as well. Okay? If you do have any more further questions, the subject leads will be at the side. Are there any specific questions you have from the leadership point of view that you may want to ask? I'll be here as well, so if you want to ask me anything, just come over. So I'll be here for another 15-20 minutes, but the subject leads are on the side. You're free to go ask them specific questions about the subjects and so on. There might be some specific questions that you want to ask about the country that you want your children to go to, like, for example, you asked. Also, I know, for example, in Egypt, some of the universities accept students after IGCSE. They accept them into the foundation course. Same thing in UAE, you have a foundation course. Some of the students get there after AS level. So there are various different options that you can ask around this room. Okay. Once again, thank you for coming. Any specific questions, please? We're always here. I'm at the front, so I get parents coming up to me all the time asking questions. You're more than welcome to come approach us. Thank you.
Thank you. So the floor is open for you. If you have any questions, you can ask us, come and approach us individually, or you can meet the subject leads. If you are still having any doubts you want to ask after you get your options form, you are most welcome to email to any one of these people. They will reply back to you. Thank you.